You've just got to start. At the start of this year, I set the goal that I was going to post a YouTube video every single week, post 52 YouTube videos this year. I started the year strong as far as I recall, and then I fell off. And I've been thinking about my goals for next year, 2026. What do I want to do? And I said again, I think I want to reset that goal of posting a YouTube video every week. And then I realized, why am I waiting until this arbitrary 1st of January? Why don't I start right now? This is that video. Rather than trying to wait till I can make the perfect video, I'm just going to start making videos. I'm going to try and make them slightly better each week. And rather than trying to pretend like I'm the finished product, either with the YouTube videos or with the art and the clothing stuff that I'm trying to promote, I'm going to show you behind the scenes. So this week and the next few weeks, it's all going to be about what am I doing to plan for next year? What am I doing for setting my goals? And then from there, how do we hit the ground running and start 2026 according to those goals and see if we can succeed with some of them. I also want this to be a video that gets other people pumped up, that gets other people thinking about what they want to do next year or start doing before next year even begins. And how do we all support each other, keep each other accountable, and just crush. I've been doing a lot of work with a coach over the last year or two, and I was chatting to her about this whole situation and want to make more YouTube videos, all that context. And one of the things that keeps coming up is this feeling of fear that I have. Part of it's a feeling of fear of, being laughed at, I guess, or like a fear that it's going to look stupid, especially when it comes to stuff like filming myself out in the street or things like that. But I think part of it also is just a fear of like sharing myself online and the exposure that brings and stuff like that. But you know what? I've decided I need to forget about that and I need to just power through, because I also think it's one of those things that the more you do it, the more you just become sort of immune to caring about that stuff. So here we are. I'm not caring. The other thing I realize is thinking about making content is something that stresses me out. I'm like, oh. Then as soon as I start doing it, I actually quite enjoy it. So I need to remember that. I need to build the momentum. That's the other big thing I've noticed with content. If you're in momentum, it's really easy to stay in momentum. But if you lose the momentum, it's really hard to get it back. Classic bit of physics. An object in motion stays in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. So when you're at rest, it's hard to get back into motion. You need some sort of big catalyst. And that's what this is. This video is the catalyst. It's going to be a crap video, but I don't care because the next one's going to be better. And the one after that's going to be better. And then the one after that, probably going to be better. So, planning for next year. I've got a little spreadsheet that I'm cooking up. So far, I'm thinking about trying to define things that I would do every week in an ideal week, things that I do it monthly or at least once a month in an ideal month, same for a quarter, same for the full year. Also looking at a list of like people I want to stay in touch with and making sure I have kind of a bit more conscious thought around who I'm trying to stay in touch with, making sure I am just sending people random texts when I'm thinking about them, getting random phone calls in with people, things like that, to like make sure I don't lose all the wonderful people I love in my life, but equally making sure I'm being a bit more intentional about how I'm spending my time, maybe spending more time not doing social things. Especially the big one is not spending as much time watching TV, pointing behind the camera, because the TV is behind the camera and I spend way too much time watching TV and YouTube. So I need to start making more. The other thing is social media content and indeed YouTube content. That's a big one, big focus for next year. I really want to figure out some ways of using AI to be smarter about it. I want to figure out a bit more detail around who the people I'm trying to speak to are so that I can make content that really is like for a targeted audience. And also the last thing, the art. This is all really in pursuit of promoting my art. So I'm trying to figure out ways that all the content really centers more around art and not just around random stuff. Even when I'm traveling or even when I'm doing different things, like having the art be at the center of everything I do, because selling the art is the goal for 2026. And also the other side of that, which ties to the art, it is an artistic creation, but I'm also getting into clothing, potentially trying to think about doing like a monthly clothing drop. I know I've been posting content, if anyone's been following me on Instagram, around these hoodies I've designed with the love painted thing. I don't know how to describe it. You should go check out my Instagram and you'll probably see it. But yeah, thinking about maybe doing a monthly drop for the clothing, maybe doing an art show too, maybe next year, figure out the dates for those. Try plan out my year a bit more intentionally, plan out the touch points of the things I want to do to make the art go to the next level, make the content go to the next level. And like I said, I've just been putting off things until the new year, and I decided, why put things off? In fact, my coach told me to stop putting things off and just start now. So I did. So here we are. Like I said, not a great YouTube video, but a YouTube video that's published and that 25 people might see. And something that's the first step to building that momentum, getting me moving, being that catalyst to get me started again. So if you've watched this far, I absolutely love you. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell everyone you know they should subscribe, because there's going to be some crap YouTube videos coming on this channel, but then after that, there's going to be some good ones too. Next few weeks, like I said, I'm going to try to give you a bit more detail. I'll figure out a way to make the next video better in terms of like how I actually make things visual or make things interesting, and how I share sort of the journey to planning what next year is going to be like, so then next year I can document behind the scenes of that full year. So that's the end of this video. Love you if you're still here. God, you're the best. See you next week.